morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to the first Remembrance Day service that we have at Garth Trails. Today we remember the many thousands of Canadians who served in the armed services in times of war and in times of peace. Today we will be particularly mindful of those who gave their lives. The table and easel at the front are poignant reminders of why we have gathered together today. The helmet belonged to Owen Morris Evans, who served with the Welsh Fusiliers. Thanks to Jackie Green and her brother David Ops, we have World War I medals of their grandfather, Kenneth Samuel, who served in World War I, and his medals are on display. The British War Medal, the 1914-18 Star, and the Victory Medal. The easel also holds the medals from World War II of their father, Kenneth Roy Apps. He served in the Royal Navy on submarines, HMS Thurl and HMS Supreme submarines. His medals include the Burma Star, the Atlantic Star, and the Korean United Nations Medal. On the table is a Jolly Roger flag that was flown on British submarines in the Pacific campaign. After the service, we invite you to take a closer look, and David, Jackie's brother, will be at the front and will be happy to show you any of the memorabilia that are at the front. Also, we have the medals that were placed there this morning of Henry Dock. He's a World War II vet who served on the anti-aircraft gunner, and later when radar came, he helped with the radar. Would you please stand for the national anthem?
I heard Archie Black had been killed, but I don't know whether to believe it is true or not. Unless you hear it by the paper, don't say a thing about it. You know how stories start. All my letters after this will be censored, so you will not get the news I would like to send. I had a letter from Grandma. I also had a box from Pictou Landing. It was a good box, but a box of insect powder, that's flea powder, that they sent in the box was smashed all over the eatables. However, we scraped it off. Suppose you've read in the papers the scrap we had. Certainly was a bad one. We lost a lot of men. They penetrated our lines, but the Canadians came back like bulldogs, drove them back and held them. Oh, it was certainly beautiful. Been knocked out since we came out of the trenches. Harvey went to hospital with shell shock. It'll keep him out, but I think he'll be all right. Every day I meet some chap from the old battalion. I used to see Archie Black quite often. I think Archie's been either gone to hospital or England on a pass. I was very glad to see Archie because he was one of the few who came out of the front lines. Good news. Good news comes from every front. We hope it will not be long before old Fritz will be in a fine old box. It can't come too soon to suit us. I've been so busy, I forgot to send a letter. Don't worry when you don't receive a letter. No news is good news in these times. Wade Mundo went up north, I suppose, to hide someplace. His father said a year ago that he'd take his sons out in the backyard and shoot them himself before he'd let them enlist. Christmas will soon be here. Present indications it looks like we'll be here another Christmas before we get home. I'm getting to be quite an old soldier. It's now 10 months since I came out. In my parcel, put 2 suits of summer underwear, very light and cheap as you can get. The idea is to keep as clean as possible. My little friends, he means fleas, would lodge in our clothes and make life twice as hard. Parcel containing cigarettes arrived, very good condition, though the tin of cocoa had lost its cover. It was dry, no material damage. A few days out here makes quite a difference. Hear the sound of guns pounding away the enemy, this great army moving up like a rush to some new gold fields. Everyone wants to be in on the action. Well, when you're sending cigarettes after this, do not put the parcel in with the cake. Do not put the cake in the parcel with the cigarettes. The moisture spoils cigarettes. I'm touching wood all the time. I've become very superstitious coming to this country, but most chaps are that way. I've written very few letters. I don't know what the reason. As soon as I start, I forget what I had to say. There's a great army of mothers at home of whom the world hears nothing, but are just as brave as the men who go. If I should fall, grieve not that one so weak and poor as I should die, nay, though the heart should break. Think only this, that when at dusk they speak of sons and brothers of another one, then thou canst say, I too had a son. He died for England's sake. Jim's grave was lost in the action that followed his death. His name is preserved on the Menin Gate at Ypres, among the thousands of others whose grave is not known. On that section of the front, we know that section today where the Battle of the Somme took place, as Flanders Fields.
In Flanders Fields is a poem written by John McCrae. John was born in Guelph, Ontario. He was a lieutenant colonel in the 1st Canadian contingent in the First World War. As a surgeon in the Battle of Ypres, Belgium, he wrote this poem in between the arrival of batches of wounded soldiers. It has become a traditional favorite and is read or sung at many Remembrance Day services. He died in France in 1918 after 4 years of service on the Western Front. Between the crosses row on row that mark our place, and in the sky the lark still bravely singing fly, scarce heard amid the guns below.
solemn part of our service. And thanks to Peter Langford, we have a recording of the bugle parts, the last post in the melody. I would ask you to stand for the last post, the pipers Lynette and Brethren. Would you please stand? Please be seated.
Please bow your heads for the veterans' prayer. They shall not grow old, as they that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them. We will remember them. Amen.
Please stand. Please be seated. At the conclusion of our service, we invite you to remain behind. Please say hello to the choir and to David Apps, who will come to the front at the easel. We have coffee, and we have water, and we have cookies that were provided by our sponsors, Charitable Residences. You've noticed the new residence on the corner of Garth Street and Brymal Road. And it's an option that, who knows, may be available to me in a few years to come. At any rate, over on the table there are some brochures, and I invite you after the service to take a look. And you'll be very welcomed. You welcomed Lois and I and gave us a brief tour, and they're our sponsors. On your behalf, I would like to thank the many people who have made this service possible today. Gary Woods, our piper, took a day off work to be our piper. Thank you, Gary. And thanks are also due to all those that participated, that were sitting in the front row. Craig Cook, George Allenson, Douglas Downey, Ken Watson, Jim Dock, Bill McPherson, and Frank Gibbs. Behind the scenes are others who also contributed to our service. Marlena Langford did all the graphics and the texts of our programs. Peter, her husband, recorded and played The Last Post and Reveille. I'd like to thank the setup crew who put all the chairs we owned up today. Gord Eby, Jim Kennedy, Brian Kenzie, and Bob Ross. Christine Herachek has kindly offered to make us coffee, and I smell it now, and I think it's ready. I would like to say a special word of thanks to the choir behind me for your memorable songs, and I know there's one yet to come. We were ably taught and led by Linda Downey, and our soloist and director. And we are also very grateful to Linda Garner of 20 Place, who has come out and helped us with some of our practices and, of course, at our concert today. You notice Ken and May in our choir, augmenting our choir, and we're thankful for their participation. You've noticed that we now have for the multi-purpose room a Canadian flag stand and post and appropriate flag. The choir is now donating it to the shared facilities so that any other group that makes up our community can use it whenever they wish to sing the national anthem. And last but not least, I would like to thank my parents who make it possible for me to be your MC today. I did forget two other people. Our walnut greeters, Lois Evans and Sheila, who handed out the programs. We will conclude our service with a song, This Is My Song. The words of the third verse are Linda's favorite, and she's going to ask us to sing that out with extra fervor. After the song, would you stand for the blessing and stand for the playing of Amazing Grace? Thank you.
First of all, I hardly expect him to go and do it himself, so I hope I speak for all of us when I pay a special word of thanks to Ron Evans. I think this was his inspiration. I'm sure this wouldn't have happened had it not been for him, and it truly was an inspired idea. And finally, I would like to just say how fabulous it is that you're here. That you took the time to be here this morning. We must never forget. Please do. May the road rise to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face. May the rains fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. Amen.